Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 22nd episode of the 42 podcast, where as always we're talking about life, the universe, and everything with your good friend and mine, Mr. Ryan. How you doing today, buddy?
Hey, Jacob. I'm good. I'm tired.
Yeah, I feel you there.
But that's a theme. I think we've been tired like 20 of 22 episodes, so...
Hey, at least we're getting it done a little earlier today, so we're not going to be up, super late compared to, like, we're used to.
Yeah, getting it done. Even though, like, we tried to get flooded out last night. We had an unbelievable storm blow through.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to not be here, though. Yeah, I asked my mom Thursday, I was like, do you mind watching the kids? Their grandparent, our grandmother. And she's like, no, I don't mind. So Saturday night, we dropped them off. And me and the wife went and got a hotel downtown because I got a good deal on one of the Hilton rooms.
Oh, nice.
It had a balcony overlooking the Galleria part of down Houston on Post Oak Boulevard, and we were like on the 8th. We were on the 8th floor and stuff. Mm-hmm. It was only $100.
Nice. Yeah, if you watch, you can get real good deals online.
So we're up there on the 8th floor. And the storm doesn't go through the Galleria, it goes through the east side of Houston. So we just watched this giant storm just covered in lightning just all night. It was awesome.
It does sound like fun.
Yeah, it's good times.
Good times.
But we almost didn't make it home.
It's too much rain, too much flooding.
Freaking people, they had two of the freeways shut down.
Wow. Damn.
Two of the main ones.
Yeah, that can be treacherous in Houston because you need every lane there to get the traffic moving.
Yeah, considering it only took 3 freeways to get home. 2 of them are closed. You're not doing very well.
Yeah, for realsies.
And some of Houston feels like you can't even get to the other part of Houston if you don't get on a freeway.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's like, where the hell are these small streets going? Like, how the hell would I get there without this toll road?
Hours. Like 2 or 3 or 4 hours to meander through some city streets to get to certain parts of Houston, especially with how big it is now.
With how big it is, exactly.
I mean, when I lived there, the Woodlands was out. Like, it was kind of out, and now it's, city almost all the way to Huntsville, which is another hour north of the Woodlands.
Yeah.
And it's all the way down to Galveston.
It is city all the way to Willis.
Wow.
That's almost completely built up all the way to Willis.
Yeah, me and a friend of mine joke about in 10 years there's going to be just one giant city between Houston, Austin, and Dallas. It's just going to be one city. It's like Coruscant, just one giant city for days.
Yeah. So anyway, how have you been? How's the weather been up there?
Oh, it's good. Cool this weekend. It's not going to hit 70 all weekend, so it's kind of nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Been pretty rainy though, so it's kind of comes with the territory. Bought a new laptop today, so that's exciting.
Did you?
Yeah.
What's up? What'd you get, dude?
It's a Lenovo Flex, so it's not completely 360, but it'll go. The hinges are 300 degrees, so you can use it as a laptop, but if you want to like flip it up and have the keyboard facing down and just play with the screen because it's a touch screen, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's an i7, 2 gigs of graphics memory, 8 gigs of regular memory. It's a good laptop. We got a good price on it. Open box at Best Buy kind of deal, and with the Best Buy card, we can have a year of no interest, so we'll pay it off without paying any interest on it. And I've had this one. Actually, my old laptop is going to become just a dedicated podcasting machine, so I won't have to move it around anymore, which will be nice. But I've had this machine for like 6 years now. I've had it forever.
Yeah, it's been a while, right?
Yeah, I think either 2009 or 2010, one of the two. So I've had it for a while, and it's still like a computer, but it's definitely starting to show its age quite a bit. Like, I'm having a hard time loading things that I shouldn't have a hard time loading. But it'll work for this pretty well. We went and saw Inside Out yesterday, which was the new Pixar movie. Oh, it's pretty good. It was really good. Everyone's saying it's like, Wall-E or Up good. It's not. But it's still pretty good. There's a point in there where, like, If I hadn't been in a room full of people, it might have been full on ugly cry. Like I was
Really?
struggling. Oh yeah, because this is pretty much set up in the first 5 minutes. So, but minor spoiler warning. The entire sort of premise of the movie is the main character, who's this little girl, like 12-year-old girl, gets moved from Minnesota to California. And she's dealing with all the emotions of moving across country and leaving all your friends behind. And I don't, you know this because people don't know this. I've done that quite a few times in my life where I've had to leave everything behind because my dad got a job somewhere and we moved away. So it just hit me like everything that little girl was going through. I got like everything. Oh, it was bad. And it was like at the end.
Hey, y'all need to go downstairs.
So at the end, I'm just getting there, and I'm just like I was like 2/3 of the way through the movie. I'm like, okay, this movie's okay. But the last 20 minutes, man, I'm just like, okay, keep it together, Jacob. I'm like, got my hoodie up around my face, like trying not to cry. It was pretty bad, but the movie was pretty fun. Yeah, I'd recommend it if you got kids. If you've never really moved, it may not mess with you as much as it did with me. But if you've definitely made some major moves in your life, you'll get it. You'll understand it quite a bit. So
nice.
Yep. It's just been us. Pretty easy breezy weekend. Got a killer headache today that I'm still fighting, but whatever.
Damn it.
Yeah, whatever.
That sucks. Yeah, that does suck. So, would you recommend it for a 2-year-old? Is there enough kind of just
yeah, there's
raw motion and music and
it's pretty
animation?
funny, and for the most part, it's really bright and vibrant, and oh yeah, it's
good.
There's some jokes
and a 9-year-old boy.
Oh yeah, because
Okay.
there's definitely some pretty funny jokes, especially like there's this one thing where the deep memory people are just like, oh yeah, we love this memory. We just send it up from time to time just for fun, and it's like this commercial from when she was like 3 years old. It's the jingle that gets stuck in your head.
That's funny.
And I watch this movie because it's all about the inner workings of your mind. I'm like, yeah, I can totally see my brain being this dysfunctional. Yeah, I can see it. I could see my brain actually working like this.
Yeah, I could too, actually, now that you mention it.
But let's see. I got a new book this weekend that I'm very excited to start reading.
Oh, yeah?
It's
What'd you get?
The Hero with 1,000 Faces. There we go. By
What's the-
Joseph Campbell. It's sort of a literary book. It's a book about literature and stories about how the hero's journey is always kind of the same. And it breaks down different cultures and how even across all the cultures, hero stories are very similar. It's actually where George Lucas based a lot of Luke Skywalker on, is the readings in this book. So it's one of those books I've been meaning to pick up for years and years now, and finally did it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I figure with my writing, it'd be probably good to get a little education underneath me.
Nah, fuck that. I don't know what you're talking about. So, I got a question. We were talking about computers. Oh, I can't talk about this. Hang on 1 second. I gotta check outside to make sure that no kids. Right?
Okay,
hang on.
And he's off, and here we are, once again on the 42 podcast. I wish I could do voices better. That's one of those things. Like I just can't do voices. I can't. I don't know.
Are you talking mess about me when I leave?
No, I was talking about how I really wish I could do like voices, but I can't. Like I would never be a voice actor because I don't have the range.
This is my mad voice. This is my mad voice.
Well, it's like in The Simpsons, right? Hank Azaria does like 16 characters, and they all sound unique.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. No, I'm surprised. I've been listening to the Harry Potter books and how different the author can sound. It's the same kind of voice, but the inflection and the emphasis and the what is that? What is that? The accent.
Yeah, and the tempo.
They'll be just slightly different. Where I know exactly what character is talking, even if it's not. It doesn't say who's talking. I just know them by their voice now. Right. It's the same person. It's incredible. Anyway, what I wanted to ask you. So my son, we've been asking him. He's turning 9, and he's been asking me. We've been asking him for a while. What does he want for Christmas? Okay.
Okay.
The original answer was like an airsoft gun and like an Xbox One.
Right.
That's pretty reasonable for a 9-year-old. That seems like what you would want.
Hmm.
But what he's settled on now that he's only a week away, we haven't bought anything yet. We've been, because you know how 9-year-olds are. You
Right.
got to ask them a million times trying to get exactly what they want out of them. He wants a computer.
Okay.
What do you think? How much do you think you can get away with and play modern day graphics?
Oh man. Like you
The
want
one
you want to do like a computer or a laptop or what?
probably a computer, right?
I mean, you can play a lot of games on laptops now. If you look and you watch, you can get them pretty cheap. You know, 600-700 bucks. And they'll play pretty decent games. Let me see if I can't find. Yeah, you just gotta.
Hmm.
Lenovo was actually running a thing the other day that was really good. It was like a um 12 gigabyte dedicated graphics card, the whole bit. Um,
I just can't decide what I should get him. Being 9. Do I get him the airsoft gun, or do I don't know. What would you want as 9? Not 9 when you were a 9-year-old, but 9 today. Like, don't you? I mean, wouldn't you really want a computer as a 9-year-old today?
I mean, yeah, it'd be pretty cool. I mean, if you go desktop, you do have the extra expense of a monitor, so that's something to consider.
He also wants 2 monitors.
It's like tell him he can get one and wait for the other one. It's like Daddy needs new monitors too, son.
Daddy needs a new rig, yeah.
I
I
don't.
also thought about just buying a new case and re-rigging this one.
That's not. Wouldn't be a bad way to do it. Buy the components and make it all look all nice.
Hmm.
Laptops are nice because they can kind of take them and you don't have to be on the computer itself. And, if you want the computer as well.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. We also thought about doing a camp.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, sending them to a summer camp. Those have gotten expensive, dude.
prices are always going up.
Yeah, but it's like $1,000 for a week.
Well, 3 meals a day.
Insurance,
That's
responsibilities, activities,
right,
luxuries, and amenities.
etc., etc.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't doubt it. I don't even want a Mechanica kids these days.
4,200.
Whew. Whew. It was half that when we were going.
Mm-hmm.
Half.
Yeah, Canicoke's turned into a 2-week camp though.
Oh yeah, not really. No monthers or just
There
two?
are monthers, but there's like a cabin and a half.
Hmm.
There's not a lot of monthers.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really weird. But they only have two. They only have 2 semesters. Also, they only do 2 months now, not 3. There's only 2 terms at camp. But that's because I think just the schools keep pushing summer. They keep making summer smaller and smaller.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely like I don't think kids got out of here till like middle of June. Like pretty late.
Ours was June 4th.
Yeah, and they're gonna start up with like first week, second week of August.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, this is 2 months. I mean, they have 2 months of summer.
Isn't that weird?
It sucks. I feel bad for them. We had 3 full months of summer.
Yeah, three. Yeah. Well, especially when we were young, it was like 3.5. It was like Labor Day to Memorial Day or whatever it is.
That's basically what it was. It
Yeah.
was the end of May to September, early September.
Mm-hmm. Way more enjoyable.
Way more.
Good life.
Yeah, now everyone wants to push the school day from what 8 to 3 to 8 to 5.
Really?
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of that recently. Lots of schools want to keep the kids longer.
Why?
Well, probably because it would help with the parents, so the parents don't have to you know, they don't really have to change their work schedule at all. So that's probably a chunk of it. But they say they can do more, and I don't know. I think a lot of school, especially like public schools, is just wasted time anyway.
Yeah, it seems very Orwellian to have your kids go to school for 9 hours a day.
Like, you don't need to take photography in high school, okay? Teach the kids how to read, how to write, history, some math, and you're pretty much good. There's no reason to...
Basic math, too.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason for them to know the complicated stuff unless they want to know it. And then all those classes should be available. And you know, if you have really good, you know, scores in like the other math, like the basic math, you know, everybody takes the basic math class. And if you're good at it, you can sign up to take the AP math classes. Right? Where you actually learn stuff that's going to apply to you when you go into your different careers.
Oh, yeah.
So,
there's a train.
That's really loud.
It is really loud. I mean, there's something like 65% of kids who go into college have to take remedial courses because they weren't prepared well enough in high school.
And that's just a fucking shame.
It is. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. But we tried to homeschool my kid, and it was just like, oh, this is so much fucking work.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I can't believe how much effort your mom put in to do homeschool for how many kids?
6 of us.
All of them, right? Yeah.
And one level or another, yeah.
And y'all weren't allowed to fail.
No, we weren't.
If it was required, she would sit at that that kitchen table with you for 6-7 hours.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're going to get this. Either out of boredom or necessity that you need to go eat. You're going to learn.
Yeah, I mean, that's because a lot of people talk to me about homeschooling, especially up here. Like, they look at me like I'm a freak when I tell them I'm homeschooled up here. But
really,
it's just not a thing up here. You know, it's very much a southern thing, you know, Bible Belt kind of thing. And, you know, they're like, well, what? And I told them, like, look, my dad's a PhD, so education was important. He just decided to send me they decided to do homeschooling instead of public schooling. And for me, I tell people, like, if you're going to do it, you just got to commit. You know, because I knew a lot of kids that they would homeschool for 2 years and be in public school for 2 years and homeschool for 2 years. And, like, no, if you're going to do it, you got to commit.
Yeah.
You just got to get in there. You got to say it's, you know, do the education right, you know. And for a lot of people who don't know, like homeschooling, there's so much stuff out there for you, like curriculums, video school, which is what I did for the most part. So, you know, you don't have to do everything, I guess, is the way.
Right, but it requires a level of discipline that most people just don't have.
Yeah.
A willingness to get up every morning and make your kids get up and eat their breakfast and get ready, and then go sit in the, you know, whatever computer room or classroom or whatever you've designated to do school and make sure they got it done, and to be able to do that and keep the house clean and the bills paid or whatever your responsibilities are as part of the wife, that just can be a lot.
Yeah.
And it's every day for 18 years or whatever it is.
Now, if we really want to make some money, we'll be one of the first people to open up a virtual reality school. Like, send the kids headsets and just, like, stick them on them, and, you know, we'll have them flying around the galaxy, learning about planets, and, like, doing underwater virtual reality stuff, learning about fish and numbers, and it'd be cool.
It'd be very cool. We'd have to design the programs, huh? I guess we just need to buy one of the toolkits for one of the VR sets.
Yeah. And
come up with all the programs and then just hire some teachers and actors to play the different... You would need a virtual teacher, though.
Well, there's no reason.
No, I guess you could just have the character.
You could just have the character, but there's also no reason that, like, the one teacher couldn't be teaching, like, 1,000 kids. Especially if it's more of a virtual field trip.
Especially because, yeah, and then the kids are bound by some rules.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not allowed to do anything ridiculous. They just kind of have to sit and watch and be part of it. It's easy to keep them quiet and not lose them.
Right. You know.
I guess one teacher could take 1,000 kids on a virtual tour if they couldn't get lost, right?
Or, you know,
it just wasn't an option.
Right. Or you pre-record it and, you know, the kids just watch it and they just kind of fly through it. And if they need help, there's like a tech support button they can click and they can ask questions. Just have like a bank of teachers, ready to ask questions in a call center somewhere.
I like it. I like it.
And there's some things you just can't make fun, like math. Like learning how to do math is just boring because you just gotta learn. It is. It's just 2 + 2 is 4. That kind of stuff. So much of it
You
is
can
just
make the
rote
necessity for
memorization.
math fun though.
Yeah, if you could,
You could have adventure games
yeah,
where the codes.
gamification of
Hmm.
math and of school in general, which I guess this kind of would be.
It would be very close, but it would also make you could also do hands-on things,
Oh yeah, definitely.
especially if it's in a virtual reality environment. You could have the kids. Experiments could be done in such ways. You could build nuclear bomb. Well, not nuclear bombs, but like a nuclear reactor. Like if y'all were talking about nuclear reactors, you could actually slide the rods in and out, or you could like grab and pinch and zoom and like look inside the reactor, and then just keep zooming in until you actually could see what was happening.
See the atoms and stuff.
Hmm.
That would be fun.
We're talking the magic school bus of like schools.
Basically, yes. You got to know someone's already working on it at this point because it'll change the game, especially for homeschoolers. Where you could just jack in your headset for 3 hours and you're done.
I don't think anybody as smart as us are working on it.
I don't know. Like that's the thing I always loved about being homeschooled. Is if I really push myself, I could get my entire day done in 3 or 4 hours.
You could do your whole week in 2 days.
If you really tried. Those
Yeah,
were some long days, but you could.
yeah, 8 hour days. Yeah,
Yeah. And it turned out okay for me.
yeah, it did.
So,
But your parents also did a really good job of making sure that you had the right credentials and made sure you went to the right schools at the right time.
yeah.
Like you started going to those like AP college courses and stuff when you were younger.
Well, I started Oklahoma State when I was 17, so
Right. Hmm.
with a dual credit, but I just did all college classes.
Hmm.
So that was fun. Hmm. Yeah, I saw something where the Dallas Cowboys are using drones and stuff at practice, so guys can use the virtual reality to like get inside the drones and watch it, and so it's
Wow,
whole other level of stuff, man.
that is awesome.
Oh yeah, I think VR is gonna have huge implication for sports. Like, could you imagine
Ooh,
if
I
you
never thought of that.
well, think about like training, right? So
Hmm.
instead of taking batting practice, you're taking batting practice actually off the guy you're going to be facing. So if you had a way to, I mean, everything is recorded from every angle, so it wouldn't be that hard to build the models to move correctly, to have the balls move correctly. It wouldn't be that hard, in big air quotes. You know, so instead of just taking batting practice, you're taking batting practice off Cole Hamels or whoever, or if you're a football team, you could put yourself, say you're a quarterback, you could put the helmet on and run plays against an actual defense.
That's
That
epic.
so or you could just watch it unfold from the quarterback's eyes and see how the defense reacts to certain things happening. And yeah, that's coming. That's coming quick. There's way too much money in sports for it not to be coming quick.
Right. How does the programming work on something like that? Like, how does somebody design a 3D environment that's played in the virtual reality? Like, how would somebody take whatever you were just, since we record all of the video of the defensive line and stuff, playing all the different teams, so we take that information and then we can render these people in a 3D environment. How do they translate film to a virtual environment where I've got it on my head?
Well, I would assume that on some level, either they've will probably be some kind of algorithm that it can pick up, and the computer can translate it
Sorry.
basically, which
Right.
is I'm guessing how it'll happen,
So you
especially
run it
for
through a computer.
right because you wouldn't want to you wouldn't want to build everything
Right. Hmm.
because you could build like the base and then put the skins and movements on top of it, or you could do it almost like you do with Madden, where the defenses will react in a way, and you can just be in there and watch it.
Interesting.
So Yeah,
You think people are already building this type of technology that allows you to transmit film into the 3D?
oh, I
That'd
would
be
be
cool.
shocked if it wasn't.
Right. That has some giant implications, like, for everything, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Right. Hmm.
Uh,
Will you be able to build, like, a virtual mall for your Amazon store?
there's no reason you couldn't. There's no reason you couldn't do it right now if you knew what you were doing.
Is there going to be a new version of the internet, like the virtual net, where
Well,
you go to, like, these like the Amazon stores will be, like, storefronts where you walk in and...
I don't see why not. You know, it's something we've been seeing on TV and movies forever. So that's one reason it'll kind of happen, because that's what we're going to be pushing ourselves towards. But yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be that way, because that way you could even get some kind of a idea of how big is it. You know, what does it really look like? What does it feel like? Especially if our um, sensory input mechanisms become very good, which apparently they're already starting to become pretty good. So if you had gloves on that would let you feel it or touch it, or you could see how big it is or how big it kind of looks.
Being able to see it rendered in 3D and actually, like, walk around the couch, you'd feel a lot more comfortable buying couches offline.
Oh yeah,
You
or
know, if you could... Hmm?
or if you're doing something where, say you're using like the HoloLens or maybe like the Steam one with the tower that reads your room, you
Mm,
could find it, click a button, and
put
place
it in
it
your
in your
room.
room, and then see what it would look like to an extent.
Or put it up on, if you're looking at buying a TV or a wall mount, like a painting or something, you could... Hmm,
Yep.
interesting. But if that's the case, then you just need something that assumes the same shape, and then you could have anything, which would be kind of cool. You could have bare walls, but have all this virtual art. I'm so excited for the future. Did you see the HoloLens E3? Did we talk about that on the last
Uh-huh.
podcast?
Yeah, we've talked about it a little bit. The HoloLens, man, what they're doing is cool.
That is some cool shit.
I don't know which I'm more excited about. The HoloLens, like the real full-on augmented reality of the
Hmm.
HoloLens, or the full-on VR. I'm not sure. I really, right now, I'm really excited about the augmented reality because I
I
love the
think,
idea of it.
yeah, for the next 5 or 10 years, I think augmented reality will probably be the way to go until we can get like what they describe in Rated Player One, those full immersion rigs, where you have a difficult time, you know, telling whether it's virtual reality or reality.
Right.
When we get to that level, then the Oasis probably pales in comparison to what we'll actually do with a virtual universe. Because with an open source virtual universe, that if we build something like that, like a virtual net like we were describing, where you can go to these different shops, or you can go play virtual paintball, or you can go play virtual... People are just building these websites that allow you access through the virtual net, right?
Right.
The Oasis, that's one guy's idea. Wait until you have 6 billion people coming up with ideas.
It's going to be a lot of porn and cats.
It can be a lot of porn.
Lots of
It,
porn.
it can be
Lots of
some few,
cats.
it can be a few brothels. It can be some few brothels. In every imaginable way you could imagine to do it. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm in. I, for one, welcome our new AI overlords.
Oh, yeah. The Matrix is coming. We're going to turn into batteries soon. That's all there is to it.
Did you see that article on Google about the artificial intelligence chatbot they designed?
No, I haven't.
Do you know how... Have you ever gone to, like, chatbot and talked to it?
Yeah, once or twice. It's been a
It's
while.
terrifying. It's terrifying how, like, it seems like you're talking to a real person. But all that thing does is takes other people's answers and other people's questions and puts them together. It just keeps building this bigger and bigger and bigger database. The more people talk to it, the bigger the database comes, the more fluid and the better at chatting the robot becomes, right?
Right.
Well, Google took a chatbot and then I don't know how they did it. I don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. but they somehow took the information off of like how people structure their sentences and conversations, made that into like some type of formula and put that into the chatbot. So when it was making answers up, it made them up on its own. It wasn't like these pre-programmed answers from other conversations that it's had, previously. It can answer original idea or original questions with original ideas. And then they asked it like some crazy stuff like, what is the meaning of life? And it's like to live forever. And stuff like that. It's just all these crazy questions. They asked it, what is morality? And it's like, it doesn't matter. You don't believe in God Almighty. And then they were like, what is with the ambiguity? And it answered some I can't remember how it said, something about my ambiguity doesn't matter compared to your lack of morality or something like that. It just keeps asking these, really. It was cool. It was very good. I can't remember. You'd have to probably just Google like chatbot experiment. But they're getting crazy, man. Did you see that you're going to be able to buy a jetpack in less than a year for 145 grand?
Only 145,000.
Well, the idea is that they're going to sell it to hospitals and firefighters and police departments. But it's a single person jetpack, like a true full-blown turbine jetpack. Yeah.
Have you seen the hover bike that the military is developing?
No.
Let's see if I can find you a link.
That'd be awesome. Speaking of jetpacks, did you see that Russian video of the guy who had the money that bought one of the like 60s James Bond style where they use the compressed air to blow you up?
Uh-huh.
And his buddy's got him tethered up to a harness. And they're standing, on like this deck thing kind of suspended up in the air a little bit. And he's got this rope that goes up to a pulley tied between two trees. And then his friend's got the held of the rope. So he's kind of like helping him stay, kind of stable. And the guy takes off real slow, like, shh. And if you've ever like skateboarded down a hill and you start to get the speed wobbles, you know how you kind of try to fix it and it gets a little worse and it gets a little worse. And then like you go from a little worse to like completely out of control in just one flip of the pendulum.
Right.
So he's like, shh, 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 and his friend's trying to pull, and then the guy kind of goes this way and hits against the rope and comes back the other direction, and his friend goes to give him slack because he was trying, they're just off a little timing, and so he just goes straight vertical, just, 60, 70 miles or whatever. Goosh! Hits his friend right in the chest, and they both go flying off the deck because he lets go of the rope. And the rope comes out of the thing, and they both just come flying off the screen.
I'm sure that was a fun trip to the hospital.
I was like, I want to be rich.
How did you break 18 ribs? Well, let's just not talk about that.
I bought one of those $100,000 jetpacks from the 60s. The ones with compressed air? Yeah, I got one.
I got one. It was awesome. Yeah, I sent you the link for this hover bike. Check it out. It's like it's basically, it looks like a motorcycle, the middle of a motorcycle with two giant fans where the wheels should be.
Oh, that's terrifying looking.
Let's see, it can carry one or two soldiers up to 10 feet off the ground at speeds around 60 miles per hour over land and water.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't see any support for the propeller. I wonder how that works.
Probably
I don't see any motor.
I don't know, man.
Man, the future's too crazy for me. You know what, though? It's weird that they're building this to carry people when by the time it's actually like produced and ready to go, they won't be carrying people.
Are we carrying robots?
Yeah, it'll just be quadcopters, and what they really need to be building is those DARPA tank-looking things, those pack mules they have. The one where you see the video where the guy kicks it over and it kind of stumbles and catches itself, and it can go and it's all autonomous. They just need those and like deployment, some type of deployment technology. Some type of quadcopter that allows you to land and drop those off, and then go and pick more up. And then you just need those to fulfill different roles. Some of them have a virtual reality headset connected with some guy's arm so he can reach out and like actually manipulate things. And then some of them are just autonomous killing machines that have those turrets from North Korea's No Man's Zone, where they're just like target acquired, and just people are dying without any mercy. You know, that's where Skynet comes from.
Oh yeah. So is it gonna be one of those things where war eventually becomes obsolete, or the people with the robots are gonna win because we're not losing people?
Yes. It may turn into like a World War II thing where it's just like who can produce more robots.
Right.
Who can overrun the other team's robots. Not really a race of technology, but more a race of production.
Yeah, it's a war of attrition.
Yeah, probably China wins that one, right?
Yeah, maybe. We can. I mean, when it comes to high tech, we can outproduce China.
Yeah,
they just have the manpower.
I just thought they had all the computer chips.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they'll turn like Foxconn from cell phones to killer robots.
Right.
So, all those people who've been making iPhones are now making, Skynet and Terminators and shit.
Coming from a guy who really enjoys quadcopters, enjoys it as a hobby, that flies a couple of them, those things are they're just too capable to not be utilized. They do unbelievable things. I have one that it's pretty big, you have to fly it outside, and it's kind of powerful. And I'm like, you know what, at night, if this had just a single light on the bottom, it flies exactly the way people describe UFOs. So it'll just hover, and then I can just make it go any direction in all six axes, or a combo of the two. So I can literally move in any direction in all 360 degrees at full throttle. I can just go, and I can just take off. And then I can just pull it back, change its direction completely. It'll stall, and then completely fly the other direction without having to. It doesn't look like it banks and churns. It'll just change directions because it's like a helicopter. It's way more maneuverable than a helicopter. They're unbelievably capable. I really do believe that what everybody was seeing in Roswell, New Mexico back in the day were different types of fighters that the military was building and quadcopters. I guarantee you they've been building drone quadcopters for 30 years now, 20 years. They're you would not believe, if you haven't seen them in real life, what they can do. They're unbelievable.
Nice.
And they're just so stable. And
I haven't had a chance to play with them very much, but they do take great video because they are so stable.
Yeah, and the thing is you don't have to build a quad. You can build a hex or an octocopter. And then, the military, they have those. You see how he has those fans on that hover bike there?
Right.
It's kind of like a funnel, and then the fins are almost touching the edge of the top of the funnel, and it kind of goes down.
Right.
Those are induction fin, or what do they call that? They're ducts, electronic duct. I don't remember exactly, but that technology somehow causes some type of like negative pressure above the fan, and it blows harder below. They're really efficient. So the government has to have that kind of technology. I don't know. They could do whatever they want with those things. Those things are so terrifying.
Yeah, it's if you think what the consumer has is cool, the government has whatever it is another 5 generations down the line or more.
Which is just terrifying to think of.
It is terrifying.
Because some of the stuff that I can build today, I almost shouldn't be allowed to be able to build. I can build you a helicopter or an octocopter that we could deliver a payload of probably 20 pounds, 20 kilometers, 70, maybe up to 70 kilometers away if we had the right technology.
So about 35 miles.
Yeah, we could deliver 20, probably 30 pounds, 30 miles, one-way trip.
Wow.
If we wanted to go just one way, we could probably go even farther. Because the issue is getting them back. The battery life starts to die. But if you're just trying to get something there, it's like that's a lot of ability.
Oh yeah.
I can also fly us 30 miles away at 50 miles an hour. 35 minutes at 50 miles an hour. Hang out for 5 or 10 minutes with 4K crystal clear, real-time, video, heads-up display showing me exactly what the helicopter sees. I can have absolute pinpoint accuracy where I could fly it down into your backyard, look through your, the back windows of your house, and then fly it back. Like you can do that. I don't know. It's just the future is way crazier than anybody's gonna give it credit for.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you should, get really good with your coptering and just like start selling your abilities to like high school sports
Fly it.
teams and stuff who want like awesome video for like, oh, we want extra awesome video for our, tape and stuff so the kids can learn better. That kind of stuff.
Yeah. The only problem with trying to fly a quadcopter for what would you commercially
Uh-huh.
is the FAA ruled it illegal.
Just
You have to.
don't get too don't get too high.
Yeah, don't get too big. Right?
Like 30 feet. That's it.
Yeah,
You just keep it inside the stadium and you're fine.
you're good.
No plane's gonna hit it inside the stadium.
I know, but just the law is that you can't make like people are. So I could buy one, and they sell so they sell giant ones that you can't hardly hug. They're huge. The arms on them are 2 feet long each, and you've got 8 arms that stick out, and you got 14, 16-inch props on it, right?
Right.
But they also sell them, the ones that they race, where we talked about it a few weeks ago, where they do the racing, and those are about the size of a lunchbox. Like an old school, like high school lunchbox that you would take,
Right,
or
right.
middle school lunchbox, and they'll do 70 miles an hour. So people take those and they fly them through like a construction site, or they fly them like over the side of a dam and through the woods, and then back up, and they fly it down the river and they fly it back up, right? And then take that video. So that wasn't video. That wasn't like a commercial thing. That was a hobby that somebody did in his, with his spare time. He built this thing and he flies and he likes the video, puts it on YouTube. The video is popular enough that he makes some money off YouTube, and then gets a cease and desist order from FAA that he's making money commercially off of his quadcopter. That's how serious they are about you not flying quads.
Man. Like I get it. I do get it to an extent because you have those little guys flying up around the wrong places and things can go wrong with airplanes and stuff.
We can build one that'll go 2.5, 3, 4 miles up straight up.
Exactly. So, I mean, you can get into the jumbo jet territory, and I can understand why that could be bad. But
We could definitely build one of those little ones like we were talking about, and it's made out of carbon fiber and got tons of little pieces of metal, and it's got this big lipo battery that explodes whenever cut in half. If you fly that into a motor of a jumbo jet, yeah, I'm almost positive that the jumbo jet can't handle that.
right.
There's just no way.
Or, if you're very nefarious about it, you just put like 6 ounces of C4 on it and go land that thing on the fuselage and hit the explode button.
Or you could just get that tannerite stuff that explodes on impact that you can shoot with a bullet that explodes, and then just fly. What? I mean, we're talking about ridiculous stuff on the internet now, but it is. I can understand why they don't want you to have it. Right now, the only way to get an exemption against the law, where you're allowed to do it anyway, is to have a private pilot's license, like at least a private pilot's license.
Huh.
And then you have to have 2 people, one that has a headset on and one that doesn't. You have to have a spotter and a pilot, and yeah. But getting your private pilot license would make it very difficult. Those are 8 to 10 grand to do, and
If you do it right, they're not that expensive.
it requires you to fly an airplane.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
That's more terrifying than riding a motorcycle.
Yeah,
No?
those little planes, man, they're scary. I've been up in them before.
Me too. They scare the bejeebus out of me.
Oh, that's when my my motion sickness really gets to me. Like I can handle jets. Like you put me on a Southwest jet, I'm pretty much okay. Those little planes, No, that was one of
Oh,
those times where we got on, it was like, oh God, if you please let me get on this ground safely, I will never do X again kind of moments.
I know those feelings. Yeah. I got that feeling when we were on that bus that got lost in the Ozark Mountains. It's like, you could just drop me off right here. I'll just
walk.
die.
I'll walk.
I'll just walk. I am so sick. All of us were sick, like 30 of us or whatever it was, right?
Yeah, I'm just happy that God hasn't sent the, angel named Rocco to bust our kneecaps for all the debts that we haven't settled up with yet. If she's not pregnant, I'll never drink again.
I'll
Yeah.
never have unmarital sex ever again.
3
Yeah.
days later.
Oh, she's not pregnant? Oh, good. Great. Thank God. You want to get laid? So you got plans for the 4th, Jake? I know you're kind of up there by yourself.
Um, we really haven't thought. Honestly, I kind of forgot it was the 4th this weekend.
You're bad
Um,
at this kind of like...
I am. We both have Friday off, you know, because the 4th is on a Saturday. We'll probably go watch fireworks if it's not raining. I don't know how it is here, because you know down the south, if it's raining, you're not gonna have fireworks. But it rains all the time up here, so I don't know.
Yeah, that is true. I hope it doesn't rain. It's been raining a lot here. I hope it doesn't rain.
Yeah,
But we're going to do the whole firework thing.
nice. Or you know, we'll just go to Walmart and get our own fireworks.
They sell them at Walmart.
Legit fireworks, like the big, like the canisters that you light and they shoot for 10 minutes, kind of deals, like at Walmart.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
That's so weird.
I know. Can't buy beer, but you can buy fireworks. No big deal.
No beer at Walmart, huh?
No beer at Walmart.
What about wine?
No.
Oh.
Wine
Wow.
and liquor is sold by the state. So by its own, and all liquor stores in the state of Pennsylvania are owned and operated by the government of Pennsylvania, the state of Pennsylvania.
Weird.
It is weird. And then beer, unless you can sell beer, you can sell up to a 12 pack of beer if you're a restaurant. But you can't do it any other way unless you go to the beer distributor and buy a case of beer. So 24 of them. So you basically have to buy beer in 24s, which is good.
So
For
has that increased your intake or decreased?
I'd probably say probably a bit decreased. You just have like, I'm one of these people. I like to jump around beers. You know, I would like to buy like, I'd rather have like 2 different types of beers so I can kind of mix and match and stuff. Or like in Oklahoma, they have a pick 6 wall where it's like $12 and you can pick any 6 beers. You know, that's what I like to do. So
That's the way to do it.
having to buy 24 at a time kind of sucks. It's great.
Oh, I see. Right, because you'd have to buy 24 of the same beer.
Yeah, which, you know, if you're having like a party or something, it's great because the prices tend to be a bit cheaper than they would be if you were buying them like 6 at a time because, you know, bulk and all that stuff. But, you know, yeah, it's tough. So,
What about at a liquor store? Do you have to buy them as a case anyway?
what?
Could you buy a 6-pack at a liquor store?
No, liquor stores can't sell beer here.
Wait, what?
Liquor stores can't sell beer here.
They only sell liquor, huh?
And wine.
Wow, you live in a weird place.
It is weird, dude. It is weird. I have
weird.
no idea why these laws are the way they are. Like, they are terrible. And you know, being up here, it's some kind of law that's been there for 200 years or something crazy.
I believe it. Yeah, that is weird how you've been there. It's an old state.
It's an old state. It's one of the first ones. See, Pennsylvania was founded in, well, it's one of the original 13, so whenever that is. 1787, yeah.
So how far are you from the Atlantic?
Straight line, I could probably be there in like 6 hours,
Oh,
7 hours. But I'm basically living in Ohio. I'm like 40 miles from Ohio. So if you're living in like Philly, it's only like 2 hours.
how far is New York?
To get all the way into New York City is like 6.5 hours, 7 hours.
And how far... What else is around there? How far are you from DC then?
4.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then Chicago, you're pretty good ways?
I don't know how far we are from Chicago. We're not that far from Chicago, but we're not that close to it either.
Right. You're kind of up in the middle of that area.
Yeah.
How close are you to the Great Lakes then?
I mean, I can be to Lake Erie in like an hour and a half.
Okay.
It's a bit. It's 7 hours to drive it to Chicago. Cleveland's like an hour and a half from here. Yeah. Philly and New York are a bit of a haul. I could be to Toronto in like 3 hours.
That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, we're really close to Canada.
That's weird. So, being that close to all that stuff, have you gone to any of it yet?
We've done, well, we've done DC a little bit. It's just we've been trying to get our shit back together with money and stuff, so we really just haven't had the cash to do a lot of traveling yet.
I hear you, dude. I hear you.
It wiped us out moving here. It didn't help that like my wife was out of work for like 3 months, right? So there's just a lot of income gone. Our rent went way up when we moved here. That was partly our fault, but we had 2 days to find a place to live. So we didn't have a lot of time to really scout and find the best deals and stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but we've been trying to get back on track financially, so that's kind of limited some of that. Plus, we just haven't had a lot of time. We've gone out to Columbus. We spent a weekend in Columbus, Ohio, which is actually one of my favorite cities. I like Columbus a lot. Oh, there's a Dresden, Ohio. Who knew?
How far is Columbus? I mean, what is Columbus like? How big is it?
Columbus is probably like 1 million, maybe 2 million.
Okay, not too bad then.
Yeah, and it's really built out. So the interstate systems are really nice. You can get around the entire city really quick. It's just I just enjoy it as a city. I've been there a couple of times now, and it's just nice to get around, fun stuff to do. Because we went out there for the Major League Gaming of Dota event that was out there.
Hell yeah.
I've done some traveling around Pennsylvania itself for work. Like I've been to Hershey. Like I've seen where they make the Hershey stuff.
Where they make Hershey's is actually named Hershey?
Yeah, it's in Hershey, PA. So,
that's cool, actually.
Yeah,
it's kind of like going to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
In October, if we're still here, we're going to go down to West Virginia for an Oklahoma State game.
Fun.
Which I'm a little scared about. West Virginia University is crazy, man. They burn shit. Like one of the traditions at West Virginia is if they win, you burn couches.
Wait, what? Why?
I don't know, but that's how it is. When West Virginia joined the Big 12, one of the Oklahoma State blogs I read was like, all right, West Virginians, here's your primer to where it is legal, illegal, and other things that you need to know about burning couches in other Big 12 cities. But yeah, these people just burn couches.
Hey, stay downstairs, be quiet. Sorry about that, y'all. I got a bunch of kids. They're throwing my grandmother's birthday parties today.
Oh.
So they're doing a bunch of, everybody's collecting. We're supposed to be around 4:35. So.
Yeah, we probably need to let you go then.
Nah, we're good. We got, 15, 20 minutes. That's about what's expected.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, West Virginia's crazy. But I have some friends down there, so we'll at least get to hang out.
Hell yeah. Me and you need to hang out sometime soon, dude. We need to do some fun.
I already told Kelly, like, I want to fly you up for my birthday.
Fuck that. We need to go on a cruise. Y'all need to come down here.
Yeah, I've never done the whole cruise thing. I want to.
I tell you what, one of us needs to win the lottery. And then I can fly up there, and then we'll fly down here and we'll do a cruise.
It's okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, we were gonna do a cruise for our honeymoon, but it just didn't quite work out. Like we could have done it, but it'd been one of those things where we would have had to catch a flight right after the wedding, and we really didn't want to do that.
Right.
And we couldn't. It was from Sunday to Sunday, so we would have to come back and burn so much more vacation time. So we just went to Seattle instead because we were going to do an Alaskan cruise, which that's the cruise I really want to do is the Alaskan cruise.
You're such a weirdo.
What,
you never want to do anything normal.
Well, Alaskan cruises are pretty normal.
Yeah, kind of, I guess. When I say cruise, though, don't you think of like the Bahamas?
Oh yeah, of course. But I wouldn't mind doing the Bahamas. What I would really like to do is want to like fly over and do one of those Norwegian cruises where you go through the like rivers in Norway and Europe for 8 days.
That sounds cool.
Or the Mediterranean cruises where you go to like Spain and Italy and Greece and Cairo.
Yeah.
Or because there's some of them, what they do is they cruise the Atlantic, then they do the Mediterranean, then they cruise back. It's like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's
which
like
would be
2.5
awesome,
weeks,
but,
and it's super expensive. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like $8,000 or something like
those
that.
Those are the elite ones.
Oh yeah,
because only people who have their lives like really well settled have the freedom to do those kind of cruises.
Oh yeah,
it's a special individual that goes and does those.
I thought about doing the whole work on a cruise ship thing before.
My grandmother did it for 5 or 6 years.
Nice.
Totally worth it, she said.
Oh yeah, you get to see amazing things, and when you're not working, you're partying.
Yeah, and she goes, for the amount of work that you do compared to how much you get paid, it's really big because they have to pay you just to get on the boat. Most people don't want to get on the boat and do that. You know, they don't want to take a 6-month contract of being on a boat for 6 months. So you can, you know, she was doing corporate speaking gigs.
Oh, yep.
You know, like motivational speaking, like corporate, that kind of, in the 90s, it was real popular, and she was one of the best. And they would hire her, and she would only have to speak like once or twice in a whole week. And she got the free cruise plus her, what's it called? Fee or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I guess I'm too old to do that now. I don't know. Maybe if me... Fuck? Well, I don't have any. If me and my wife could get on the same boat, I think that'd probably be pretty fun. Just like put us in the same room and work. Cool. And I don't know what I would do though. I'll be like DJ or something. I'll work the nightclub.
That would be fun.
It would be fun.
Those new cruise ships though, they have like real names.
Oh yeah.
Like Dead Mouse will be there one night and stuff.
Oh yeah, some of them are really cool because we were looking at doing one. Because actually, New York City is a really big harbor. Didn't know it. I knew there was trade in there, but I didn't. So there's a lot of cruises that leave out New York City and go up into like Maine and Canada and stuff.
Right.
It's like that'd be cool. So we've thought about doing it because Norwegian has this deal where it's like $800 for 7 days and it's all you can drink included.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about food?
Food is included as long as you're not going to like the super nice areas.
Right. Like if you go to the buffets, you're fine, but if you go to the
like the I don't know, because they have their special restaurants or whatever. Mm-hmm. Or if you want to spend a bit more, you could get like a balcony room for like $1,200 a person.
That's the only way to do it. Hell yeah.
So we may do that sometime. You know, once things settle down a little bit. But, you know, good times and all that. Ooh, Skype just tried to show me an ad. Speaking of Skype, did you see that they have they're beta testing real-time translation?
Oh, Tower of Babel stuff.
Oh yeah, it can do Spanish and French real time.
That's unbelievable.
It is one of the coolest things I've seen recently. I mean, that'll change the game, man. Like you want to talk about like changing business and shit, like that'll change the game.
Especially when we can go to a virtual office and have a virtual meeting done with Skype doing universal translating for us.
Right, or think about like a HoloLens, right? Put on the HoloLens with the Skype, and it just projects the people in front of you and it's translating for you real time.
You're like, oh yeah? Let me call the guy from India. Hang on, let me call him. You Dubaji? Hey, Dubaji. Hey. And he's going, oh, no, and you know, but you're hearing, yeah, man, what's up?
Yeah,
that changed. Tell him what you told me. No, we don't have to wait. Tell him what you told me. What did you say? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, universal translators, man, it's coming.
What was that in the Douglas Adams book?
Babelfish.
Babelfish.
Yeah. And something so useful proves that God doesn't exist, or something like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, with all the craziness that's happening upstairs, I don't think I'm going to be able to limit it. So,
All
you want to
right.
call it?
Yeah. That's
Oh,
it.
hey, wait.
Uh-huh.
I recommend Terraria this week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, if you don't have that game, you should have that game. It's one of those companies that they don't make you buy. There's no microtransactions.
You actually buy the game?
Once you buy the game, you own it, and like
Nice.
there's no DLCs. But they constantly will like just recently, like in the last week, they doubled the size of the contents of the game.
Wow. Nice.
So it's for free. You just download the new patch, and the game's twice as big as it was.
Nice. Very
So
nice.
good
Cool.
game. I just wanted to stay away from like don't kill yourself, love your family stuff this week. Make it easy. And you want to talk about the Supreme Court, or as a podcast, we don't really care about that kind of stuff too much.
Well, I mean, we've talked about like marriage and stuff before, so everyone knows kind of where I stand.
Yeah, that's true.
This is actually how I expected it to happen. Was the 14th Amendment? I laid it out to a friend of mine like 5 or 6 years ago. It's like if they're gonna do it, this is gonna be it. I thought it would be around taxes. They would say we need equal protection for the taxes and not government benefits, but it's close enough.
Right.
I just worry that because we've already seen it, like, look, I don't like people who refuse service, but it's still your right as a business owner to refuse service or as a pastor of a church
Right.
to refuse service. And you know that's going to be the next thing is someone pushing for that to happen, to be able to force churches to do something they don't want to do.
Texas was saying that Texas, the guy who runs the Texas one, was saying that they couldn't refuse it on like your gender, but they have the right to refuse it on refuse marriage license on religious grounds. That the actual like people who are going to be releasing those are going to be able to do. I was like, that isn't going to hold up in court
That's not
at
going to hold
all.
that. Well, what makes it interesting is the 14th Amendment was passed during Reconstruction after the Civil War. So if you want to talk about precedents and how other things work, the Supreme Court effectively made sexual identity the same as race. So anywhere you see anything that has to deal with race, you can put in sexual identity. In theory, those laws will apply the same way. So that's one reason why it's really interesting to me to see how that's going to, come out. And the other thing I'm curious to see is, are the activists going to stop being active? They've won. You've won. You got what you wanted. It's legal in all 50 states. Go home. But as we see, at least with the racial movement, there's too much money and too much of their lives are involved in being activists that they don't know how to stop. And so
That's interesting. That will be cool to see interesting to see what happens.
So yeah, but other than that, I knew it was like, I knew for a fact it was gonna pass. I didn't think that was gonna. I don't think there was any way. The only thing that really bothered me. So the day before was the whole king versus the state about the Health Act, about the subsidies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And John Roberts, who's the head justice,
Right.
if he had used the logic that he used in his dissent against the gay marriage one, the ACA would have gone down, but he voted for the subsidies, and then the next day he used entirely different logic to defend a position which, if he had used it across both cases and been consistent, he would have voted no and no instead of yes and no. And the other thing I didn't really like about it is, and yes, anyone who's listening, I do think that the 14th Amendment and how this went through is the right way to do it. But this decision, like, you could tell they were really trying to be flowery with it, and like it was almost
they were trying to be historical.
There was almost nothing about the actual law in the decision, and that bothered me a lot. Like, you're the Supreme Court. You're supposed to be like, I don't want any of your juxtaposition here. Tell me what the laws are. Give me the precedents. Move on.
Well, the most elegant decisions to me are always the ones that explain the law, that use the law in like just like that clear logic kind of described in the law to make something like apparent. You know what I mean? They're like, no, when they describe it perfectly and they use like just a paragraph and a half, I'm like, how did you write that down in just a paragraph and a half?
Well,
that is the most boiled down perfect explanation that you could, it's just exactly what they need to say and nothing else. It's just awesome.
Like, well, if A equals B, then C must be true. That kind of stuff.
I love those. Those are my favorite to read.
Yeah, and
everybody was saying that this one is real beautiful, and I'm like, this one isn't as beautiful to me. I'm more of the mathematician style.
But
I need the E equals MC squared beauty.
And you could tell they were trying to make it beautiful, and I didn't like that a lot. But again, like I said, I think how the tack they went about it is the way you would have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the fact. I mean, there's lots of stuff I don't like about it. About how essentially we are becoming servants to the Supreme Court.
Oh yeah, they're going to be our kings.
Yeah,
we're going to be ruled by 7 or whatever it is.
9, yeah. But five people can outstrip, the hundreds of millions of people who voted in the United States to ban it or to approve it. And that's just that's crazy to me.
Especially now that we have so many laws, and then the way that they're allowed to set precedents and interpret different things for different meanings, and they can apply this to that. Like they have enough ammunition now. They can get anything
during the King case, they basically said they can rewrite a law from the bench.
Right.
And that is just fucked up to me. That should not be allowed to happen. The law is written in a certain way, and if you screw up writing it, you deserve to lose.
Right.
But they didn't, and I don't know. It just bothers me. The decision itself doesn't bother me. Everything else does. I guess is probably the way to say it.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
All right.
Well, all right, man. Let's call it.
All right. You have a good one. I will catch you all next week.
Yeah, check out the Super Nerd Sixer. Awesome stuff this week. And I assume it's going to be better next week.
Hope so.
That's how we do it. We get better.
That's how we do it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for coming to 42.
Bye. Yeah?
It's sort of a literary book. It's a book about literature and stories about how the hero's journey is always kind of the same. And it breaks down different cultures and how even across all the cultures, hero stories are very similar. It's actually where George Lucas based a lot of Luke Skywalker on, is the readings in this book. So it's one of those books I've been meaning to pick up for years and years now, and finally did it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I figure with my writing, it'd be probably good to get a little education underneath me.
Nah, fuck that. I don't know what you're talking about. So, I got a question. We were talking about computers. Oh, I can't talk about this. Hang on 1 second. I gotta check outside to make sure that no kids. Right? Okay, hang on.
And he's off. And here we are, once again on the 42 podcast. I wish I could do voices better. That's one of those things. Like I just can't do voices. I can't. I don't know.
Are you talking mess about me when I leave?
No, I was talking about how I really wish I could do like voices, but I can't. Like I would never be a voice actor because I don't have the range.
This is my mad voice. This is my mad voice.
Well, it's like in The Simpsons, right? Hank Azaria does like 16 characters. And they all sound unique.
Yeah, no. No, I'm surprised. I've been listening to the Harry Potter books and how different the author can sound. It's the same kind of voice, but the inflection and the emphasis and the what is that? What is that? The accent?
Yeah, and the tempo.
They'll be just slightly different. Where I know exactly what character is talking, even if it's not. It doesn't say who's talking. I just know them by their voice now. Right. It's the same person. It's incredible. Anyway, what I wanted to ask you. Considering
we need every lane there to get the traffic moving.
Yeah, considering it only took 3 freeways to get home. 2 of them are closed. You're not doing very well.
Yeah, 4 realsies.
And some of Houston feels like you can't even get to the other part of Houston if you don't get on a freeway.
Oh yeah,
It's like, where
no.
the hell are these small streets going? Like, how the hell would I get there
It would
without
take
this
you
toll road?
hours, like two or
Yeah.
3 or 4 hours to meander through some city streets to get to certain parts of Houston, especially with how big
Hmm.
it is now.
With how big it is, exactly.
I mean, when I lived there, I mean, the Woodlands was out. Like it was kind of out, and now
Yeah.
it's, city almost all the way to Huntsville, which is another hour north of the Woodlands,
Yeah.
and it's all the way down to Galveston.
It is city all the way to Willis. That's
Wow.
almost completely built up all the way to Willis.
Yeah, me and a friend of mine joke about in 10 years there's going to be just one giant city between Houston, Austin, and Dallas. It's just going to be one city. Like
Hmm.
Coruscant, just one giant
Hmm.
city for days.
Yeah. So anyway, how have you been? How's the weather been up there?
Oh, it's good. Cool this weekend. It's not going to hit 70 all weekend, so it's kind of
Really?
nice. Yeah. hmm been
Damn.
pretty rainy though, so it's kind of comes with the territory. Bought a new laptop today, so that's
Did
exciting.
you?
Yeah.
What's up? What'd you get, dude?
It's a Lenovo Flex, so it's not completely 360, but it'll go, the hinges are 300 degrees, so you can use it as a laptop, but if you want to like flip it up and have the keyboard facing down and just play with the screen because it's a touch screen, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's an i7, 2 gigs of graphics memory, 8 gigs of regular memory. It's a good laptop. We got a good price on it. Open box at Best Buy kind of deal. And with the Best Buy card, we can have a year of no interest, so we'll pay it off without paying any interest on it. And I've had this one. Actually, my old laptop is going to become just a dedicated podcasting machine, so I won't have to move it around anymore, which will be nice. But I've had this machine for like 6 years now. I've had it forever.
Yeah, it's been a while, right?
Yeah, I think either '09 or 2010, one of the two. So I've had it for a while, and it's still a good computer, but it's definitely starting to show its age quite a bit. Like I'm having a hard time loading things that I shouldn't have a hard time loading. But
Yeah.
it'll work for this pretty well. We went and saw Inside Out yesterday, which was
Awesome.
the new Pixar movie. It was
Yeah,
pretty
what'd you think?
good. It was
Was it
really
good?
good. Everyone's saying it's like, Wally or Up good. It's not, but it's still pretty good. There's a point in there where like, if I hadn't have been in a room full of people, it might have been full on ugly cry. Like I was
Really?
struggling. Oh yeah, because this is pretty much set up in the first 5 minutes. So, but minor spoiler warning. The entire sort of premise of the movie is the main character, who's this little girl, like 12-year-old girl, gets moved from Minnesota to California, and she's dealing with all the emotions of moving across country and leaving all your friends behind. And I
Right.
don't, you know this because people don't know this. I've done that quite a few times in my life where I've had to leave everything behind because my dad got a job somewhere and we moved away. So
Right.
it just hit me like everything that little girl was going through. I got like everything. Oh, it was bad. And it was like at the end.
Hey, y'all need to go downstairs.
So at the end, I'm just getting there, and I'm just like I was like 2/3 of the way through the movie. I'm like, okay, this movie's okay. But the last 20 minutes, man, I'm just like, okay, keep it together, Jacob. And like, got my hoodie up around my face, like trying not to cry. It was pretty bad, but the movie was pretty fun. Yeah, I'd recommend it if you got kids. If you've never really moved, it may not mess with you as much as it did with me. But if you've definitely made some major moves in your life, you'll get it. You'll understand it quite a bit. So,
Nice.
yep, yep. It's just been a pretty easy breezy weekend. Got a killer headache today that I'm still fighting, but
Damn
whatever.
it.
Yeah, whatever.
That sucks. Yeah, that does suck. So, would you recommend it for a 2-year-old? Is there enough kind of just
Oh yeah, there's
raw
it's
motion and music and
and it's pretty
animation?
funny, and
Like,
for the most part, it's really bright and vibrant, and oh yeah,
good.
there's some jokes.
And a 9-year-old boy?
Oh yeah, because
Okay.
there's definitely some pretty funny jokes, especially like there's this one thing where the deep memory people are just like, oh yeah, we love this memory. We just send it up from time to time just for fun, and it's like this commercial from when she was like 3 years old. You know, it's the jingle that gets stuck in your head.
That's funny.
And I watch this movie because it's all about, you know, the inner workings of your mind. I'm like, yeah, I can totally see my brain being this dysfunctional. Yeah, I could see it. I could see my brain actually working like this.
Yeah, I could too, actually, now that you mention it.
But let's see. I got a new book this weekend that I'm very excited to start reading.
Oh, yeah?
It's
What'd you get?
The Hero with a Thousand Faces. There we go. By
What's the-
Joseph Campbell. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 22nd episode of the 42 podcast, where as always we're talking about life, the universe, and everything with your good friend and mine, Mr. Ryan. How you doing today, buddy?
Hey, Jacob. I'm good. I'm tired.
Yeah, I feel you there.
But that's a theme. I think we've been tired like 20 of 22 episodes, so...
Hey, at least we're getting it done a little earlier today, so we're not going to be up, you know, super late compared to, like, we're used to.
Yeah, getting it done. Even though, like, we tried to get flooded out last night. We had an unbelievable storm blow through.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to not be here, though. Yeah, I asked my mom Thursday, I was like, do you mind watching the kids? Their grandparent, our grandmother. And she's like, no, I don't mind. So Saturday night, we dropped them off. And me and the wife went and got a hotel downtown because I got a good deal on one of the Hilton rooms.
Oh, nice.
It had a balcony overlooking the Galleria part of Houston on Post Oak Boulevard, and we were like on the 8th. We were on the 8th floor and stuff. Mm-hmm. It was only $100.
Nice. Yeah, if you watch, you can get real good deals online.
So we're up there on the 8th floor. And the storm doesn't go through the Galleria, it goes through the east side of Houston. So we just watched this giant storm just covered in lightning just all night. It was awesome.
It does sound like fun.
Yeah, it's good times.
Good times.
But we almost didn't make it home.
It's too much rain, too much flooding.
Freaking people, yeah, they had 2 of the freeways shut down.
Wow. Damn.
2 of the main ones.
Yeah, that can be treacherous in Houston.